Most trusted news source, this is the Fbx Evening News.
More villages in the interior are being threatened by wildfires, and Tanana was one of those being evacuated today. Good evening, I'm Daryl Clark.
And I'm Stephanie Woodard. The situation in the villages continues to change as the winds shifted, bringing the fire closer. Village public safety officers last night said they were waiting for the evacuation orders from BLM as winds shifted, bringing the fires towards the village of 251.
This morning at 7 when we spoke, the fire was closer to 4.5 miles out of town. So
roughly 66 elders, women and children are being evacuated from Tanana.
So we have a priority list right now that they're pulling together because we only have limited resources on planes that can make it in there.
Village residents say there are 2 Type 2 teams there and that another one had just landed.
We just got in here today and hopefully we're going to plug in and try to get some line in and slow this thing down and hopefully make a difference around here in the community.
But that isn't the only village threatened by fires closing in. Mulatto and Eureka continue evacuations as of today as fires and smoke have forced residents to leave their homes.
We're currently getting ready to send some food down to Caltech. As you know, the Mulatto people evacuated there last night. We have about 109 people in Caltech and a few others spread out in Kycook and Galena.
Officials urge all to be prepared to evacuate.
Them to be ready to leave at a moment's notice. Have your go bags ready. I think every family in the world should have a go bag.
Evacuation plans have been put in place by the firemen and Tanana Village residents who have chosen to stay in their homes.
They set up lines, and then when the fire crosses such and such a place, and they, that triggers certain actions. They've got one line in which, when the fire crosses that, they sound the fire siren and ring the church bells, and we're all supposed to head for a designated place on the riverbank.
Officials with TCC say the Red Cross is assisting with those being evacuated to Fairbanks, and people without family in the city will be put up at the Willow House on Cushman Street. I'm Stephanie Woodard reporting.
Fairbanks Fire Department personnel responded to a structure fire call on the city's south side late this morning. Upon arrival at 1533 Lacey Street, firefighters spotted flames through the window of the Travel Lodge. As they arrived, the building's sprinkler system activated and began to douse a fire that originated from a stove in the ground floor kitchen. Fire crews were sent in to finish extinguishing the blaze. Evacuated guests of the lodge reported heavy smoke throughout the building. Crews from the Steese area and University Fire Departments offered mutual aid. Fairbanks Assistant Fire Chief Ernie Mesowitz says that with weather conditions as they are, quick action was required to prevent the fire from spreading.
The problem that we have statewide is it's so dry outside, and so, separate from this fire here, we have some serious fire danger out there, and, thus we have the ban on any open burning, any fires and stuff. And so anytime we get a fire, we're definitely concerned about the fire spreading and stuff, and so we want to take quick action on it. The folks here did a great job trying to go over and suppress the fire as they made the 911 call.
After pleading guilty to lesser charges as part of a deal with the state, a Fort Wainwright soldier is set to be sentenced for his part in a string of armed robberies. Brandon Charles, a private stationed at Fort Wainwright, was in Fairbanks Superior Court yesterday waiting for Judge Michael McDonald to determine how much time, if any, the man will serve. According to court documents, Charles and 2 other soldiers robbed at least 3 people at gunpoint at different areas in Fairbanks. Charles' squad leader testified yesterday that for the 2 years he had been in the military, he had a good record. However, he reiterated soldiers are not allowed to carry guns in their barracks room or vehicles without permission. Charles, who was the driver in the robberies, also made a statement telling the judge of his remorse.
I should have known better from the way I was raised to at least try to stop those things from happening, which was one of the reasons why I joined the military, was to defend this country and defend the people in it. And I didn't uphold my oath. And besides hurting the victims, that's what's weighing on me the most.
The judge took the sentence under consideration and will decide tomorrow how much time Charles will serve. Now, one other man already pled out in the case in return for his cooperation against the other 2 suspects. He was able to avoid jail time. Keith Downing, the last one of the 3, is still set to go to trial in July.
Okay, when we come back, the state's health insurance market just got a little leaner as several companies have decided to pack up and leave.
Now, also in our health report, Monty Bowen tells us that the smoke we are currently having is not only bothersome, but it could mean some serious respiratory problems. Those stories and more when we return.
Welcome back. A Fairbanks woman could be facing serious charges for an assault that happened yesterday morning. According to a release, the 26-year-old woman became violent following an argument at a residence off of Farmers Loop Road. Troopers say the suspect hit the victim several times in the face and then attempted to, quote, stick him with a knife. Now, the victim, who reportedly attempted to tase the woman, was hit with the blunt side of a hatchet and bitten. The 26-year-old locked herself in an SUV, dumped oil inside the vehicle, and attempted to set it on fire. She fled the scene but was later arrested by troopers. Charges of felony assault, negligent burning, and criminal mischief have been forwarded to the district attorney's office.
Several companies are planning on leaving the state's health insurance market. Aetna will no longer be supporting individual plans purchased in the state of Alaska due to expense-related issues, according to state officials. Now, State Farm is also dropping their medical-related customers in the last frontier. And as part of a nationwide action, Assurant is preparing to close their health insurance unit. Around 6,000 people across the state will be affected by the decisions, which take effect in 2016. Primera and Moda are just some of the state's other companies in operation that are expected to fill the gap. Director of the State Division of Insurance, Lori Winghire, says officials are looking into ways to fix the underlying reasons that may make the Alaskan market undesirable to the insurance industry.
It's two things. I mean, we have a very small population, and the other is the cost of health care. And we are looking to work with the providers and the insurance companies to address the cost of health care. We know that we have some of the highest costs in the nation, and that is one of the reasons that the cost of the insurance is high, is because of the cost of health care, and we're working to see what we can do about that.
The heavy smoke from wildfires burning in the interior can cause discomfort for healthy people and serious issues for those with respiratory problems. Monty Bowen has details now in this week's Health Report.
People who live in Fairbanks are all too familiar with summer and smoke from wildfires. We frequently get air quality alerts from the Borough and Department of Environmental Conservation. When the smoke is as heavy as it has been the past few days,
people with respiratory disease should limit outdoor activities. All people, I think, should limit prolonged outdoor activities in this environment.
Closing windows and cleaning up the air in the house can help.
HEPA air filters, or air filters in general, would be helpful while you're sleeping.
People with diseases like asthma who get too much bad air are most at risk.
The initial reaction is spasm of the bronchial musculature, and that's what you can feel. And that improves with rescue medicines like albuterol.
But you don't have to have a lung disease for the smoke to bother you.
The smoke is an irritant to the airway, whether you're allergic or whether you have asthma. So all people can have respiratory symptoms from the smoke today.
This is Monty Bowen reporting.
The Health Report is brought to you by the Ear, Nose, and Throat Clinic, located in the Medical Dental Arts Building, and by Interior Women's Health, located on 1626 30th Avenue.
All right, Joe Cook is up next with sports. He has some smoky highlights from the Gold Panthers game.
Also, more results from Midnight Sun events and a look into the UAF hockey reunion. Stay with us.
Welcome back, Interior Alaska. Joe Cook here with your local Tuesday Sportscast. Monday night, the Alaska Gold Panthers wrapped up their three-game series with the Seattle Studs. Groton Memorial Park was smoky and smoggy last night. The players and fans, they stuck with it. They saw a heck of a game. The Panthers found themselves down 1-4 to the Studs after the first inning, much like the Midnight Sun game on Sunday, but this time Alaska had a quick response. Bottom of the second action, Nate Reynolds brings home Evan Casalado with a double to make it a 4-2 game. Riley Roberts, he brings the Panthers within one with his double. Reynolds come on down. Then the hometown star Scooter Bynum, he ties it up with a base knot going opposite field. And then the play of the inning was Spencer Nielsen. 2 on, a swing, and it is gone. The first home run of the summer for the Gold Panthers is a 3-run shot from Nielsen, giving the Panthers a 7-4 lead. The Studs would rally late, but Alaska, they hold on for a 13-12 win in extra innings to sweep the Studs. The Panthers are now 4-5 overall. They have tonight off before taking on the Everett Monarchs on Wednesday for a 5-game series. The Alaska hockey program had their reunion over the weekend. Here's a look back at Saturday's event as the young and seasoned hockey veterans reminisced.
It was about 1980. I met with the alumni group for the first time, and I said, I haven't spoken to a group this large since I gave the valedictorian address at Notre Dame. And somebody said, really? So I knew I had their attention. I wasn't the valedictorian.
That's the story from the start of the modern era for Alaska hockey. Rick Schaefer was the head coach of the Alaska Nanooks when they became an NCAA program in 1980. Saturday was the 35-year anniversary of modern hockey for the Nanooks. There were displays of pictures, programs, and items from throughout the history of Nanook hockey. Schaefer, who came to the program from Notre Dame, saw his goal realized at the reunion as players from multiple classes were in attendance.
My hope was that we could establish a good hockey program with good people that are going to make contributions to a good community and stick around and do good things.
Alaska was a club team from 1925 to 1979. Terry McLean and Ken Gaines were the elder statesmen at the reunion. They played for the Nanooks in the mid-60s.
It was where the Wood Center is today on an outdoor rink. We had to shovel the rink before the games. And our total traveling was to either Dawson City or to Anchorage. Well, now they travel worldwide, and it's just a fantastic growth.
It's been upward and upward and upward. It seems like every year they get better and better and better. And that's something to be pretty proud of.
All the classes gathered for a team picture, and current Nanook head coach Dallas Ferguson summed up the reunion best.
It's funny, we all come from different eras, but we all wear the same jersey, so that to me is what it's all about, and it makes it real special.
And in the local racing scene, the Greater Fairbanks Racing Association had their biggest event of the summer this past weekend. Racers and cars from all over the state came up for the second annual Dirt Shootout sponsored by GCI at the Mitchell Raceway. There was a $14,000 purse this year. Friday night, the GFRA helped raise over $1,300 for BCDC. John McDonald was the big winner, coming first in the sprint class, earning $3,700 after 2 nights of racing. Scott Sluka won the modified class and got $3,500 as the fans enjoying the racing action. Alex Schwartzert won the Legends class. Keith Jones is your Sportsman's class winner. And Dean Scroggins came up with the dollar stock title, and Joe Heath won the Mini Bomber class. Racing continues at the Mitchell Raceway this Friday night at 7 p.m. The Golden Heart Softball Association had its annual Midnight Sun softball tournament over the weekend, and the results are in. Tons of teams were at the Hesray Complex for 24 hours of nonstop softball. This tournament was a one-pitch format, a foul ball or a strike and you're out. A pitch that's not a strike is an automatic walk. 32 teams competed this year, 12 men's teams and 20 co-ed teams. The co-ed division winners were Team Skinny Dicks. The replacements were the runners-up, and Fairbanks Elite finished third. In the men's division, Team Grizz won this year's title. Shirt Happens earned second place, and Strokers placed third. Very interesting names. The next big tourney is the Golden Days tournament in July. The U.S. women's national soccer team had a bittersweet victory on Monday. Team USA faced Colombia in the knockout round of 16 and came away with a 2-0 win. Alex Morgan, coming off a thigh injury, scored her first goal of the World Cup. And Carly Lloyd, she added a penalty kick for the final margin. However, arguably the best player for the women's team right now is winger Megan Rapone and midfielder Lauren Holiday will not be available for the next game because they received their second yellow cards, which results in a 1-game suspension. USA will play China on Friday. If the ladies win, they will get either France or Germany in the World Cup Final Four. And that's it for sports tonight. Mike Schultz is next with your full weather forecast, and we'll catch you next time.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome back into a Tuesday edition of the Fairbanks Evening News. Mike Schultz with you once again talking about the weather. More smoke, although it's not quite as thick as it was yesterday. We'll probably thicken up this evening. It always does in the evening time. And we're still looking at maybe a break by Thursday or Friday as a cooler system moves in, bringing us a fairly decent chance of some rain shower activity, at least a flow different in the winds, which will help blow out the snow. Got a great picture to share with you tonight. This one we're going to call a cool moose for obvious reasons. Sharon Freeman was able to capture this photograph. As you can see, the mama moose sitting there in a pool enjoying herself. And as always, if you have a photograph to share, by all means, send it to photos at KTVF11.com. We'll just leave Mama Moose there to luxuriate in the nice spa. 73 degrees right now. That's our high for the day. The low last night, 51. The record high, 90 in 1916, 38 in 1947, sunrise and sunset. About 21 hours and 48 minutes, a loss of 36 seconds from yesterday. I hate saying that. Almost choked me up there. On the satellite and radar, you can see a lot of thunderstorm activity breaking out across the Alaska Range and over to the eastern side of the state again, but nothing in the Fairbanks area. More storms also over the western side, and these are pretty powerful. I'm afraid they're going to put more lightning discharges out there and possibly start some more fires. We'll keep our fingers crossed they don't. Elsewhere across the state, here's what it looks like. Over southeast Alaska, Juneau at 74. A little rain falling around Ketchikan, 65 degrees there. Up and down the Aleutian chain, right at Kodiak, cloudy skies for Cold Bay and Kodiak, and temperatures at 59 at Cold Bay, 54 at Kodiak. Anchorage is 66 degrees. Elsewhere up and down the west coast, looking at, for the most part, mainly sunny skies, 54 at Nome. Kind of cooling down a little bit at Barrow, 49 degrees there, but nice day in Fort Yukon, 81. Lower 48 weather looks like this. And again, we're looking at very hot temperatures over the southwest, 109 in Las Vegas, 111 in Phoenix, 91 degrees in Denver. Not too bad in Seattle, almost 80 degrees there, 94 at Salt Lake City. Thunderstorms across the northern parts of the Midwest. Minneapolis is 79. Dallas, 94 degrees. Over the eastern half of the country, down around the Bayou country, New Orleans, 93. Not too bad across Chicago and St. Louis. Still warm across New York and Washington, D.C., 96 there. And Miami, 91. Lower 48 satellite and radar showing some afternoon shower and thunderstorm activity moving once again across from the west to the east. And a little bit of activity moving across the eastern slopes of the Rockies, but still out to the west. Nothing but clear skies and warm temperatures. And the overall picture for this week is calling for that frontal, or I should say the jet stream, to be way up to the north. That allows all that hot air to come up from the south and continue to bake the folks over the western half of the country, just the opposite over the east. Thunderstorms and cooler temperatures moving in over the eastern half of the country. Back to Alaska for tomorrow. Mostly sunny skies for Barrow, sunny skies for Nome, and some areas of smoke and isolated thunderstorms for Fort Yukon. Here in the interior, we'll be looking at, for the most part, region-wide smoky, isolated thunderstorms in the afternoon with gusty winds and hail, and Fairbanks looking at 81. Over southeast Alaska, it looks like for the most part, mostly sunny skies for Juneau, becoming sunny in Ketchikan, while over to the southwest part of the state, slight chance of rain for Cold Bay, isolated showers for Kodiak, and mostly sunny skies for Bethel. And as far as the overnight forecast, we're still looking at our fire conditions here. As you can see, right around the Tanana area, there's a lot of fires going on there. Up around the Chattanooga area, report of a fire last night. Also still reports of a fire around the Chino Hot Springs Road. And of course, Nenana has got the complex fire going on out there. So a lot of folks looking to the skies and hoping for some relief from this wild, dry temperatures we've been having. Our forecast for tonight continues smoky and breezy. Maybe a shower possible, 59 degrees for the overnight low. Tomorrow's forecast, partly cloudy, isolated showers or thunderstorms, again 81. And the extended forecast calling for temperatures to warm back up again for Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, and Sunday, Monday, cooling back down over the weekend. So all in all, not too bad. And the overnight lows will once again be very, very mild for this time of year, looking at close to 60 degrees on some days. No precipitation expected after about Thursday, but then maybe over the weekend, maybe some showers moving in to help cool things down a little bit.
People were reporting earlier on social media that there was hail in Delta.
I saw the pictures of that, yeah. There are some isolated thunderstorms around. There's some heavy activity down around the Alaska Range, but nothing in the Fairbanks area.
Yeah, I just can't tell with all the smoke exactly what conditions we have.
I have to rely on the radar. The only way I can figure it out what's going on.
So would it be partly sunny?
Partly smoky.
Partly smoky.
Yeah.
All smoky.
You know, residents also of Tanana, I mean, it's with the breezes, it's changing every minute. They don't know whether they can get in there by plane minute to minute.
A lot of folks out there fighting that fire, though, so I think we're going to beat it. I think we're going to beat it.
Yes.
Okay, we can only hope. Thanks, Mike. That will wrap up this edition of the Fairbanks Evening News. We are glad you could join us.
Well, tonight on NBC Nightly News, the district attorney says a prison worker smuggled hidden tools in raw meat to help the escaped killers in the New York prison. That happened last week. That's up next with Lester Holt.
All right, join us here 6 days a week at 6 and 11, or of course online anytime at webcenter11.com.
All right, from all of us here at the News Center, we'll see you again at 11. Have a great night.
Good night.